Soon after Bill met future Tool guitarist Adam Jones, who had a good career working in Hollywood on movie special effects for films including Predator 2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Jurassic Park, and had no intention of joining a band full time. Why would you? You know?
Yeah. It sounds pretty good already.
Holy, he worked on fucking Jurassic Park? What? Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. That's a whole new discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined as always by my very excited fanboy co-host Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello. This has been a long time in the making.
Indeed. And today we'll be discussing every album by
Tool.
Tool. Finally, this was requested on Patreon by Bill Hicks. I imagine not the real Bill Hicks because he's dead. So also he requested on Patreon. Thank you so much, Bill. I'll call you Bill for supporting us and hanging out with us and suggesting this because this is one of Alex's bucket list bands to do on the podcast.
Yes, if he's Bill Hicks, I'll be Alex Gray.
I wish I got that reference. I don't.
You see, Tool likes Bill Hicks, and a lot of their artwork is by the artist Alex Gray, who does the very cosmic, trippy artwork that you see. So I'm assuming that's why he's Bill Hicks, and then
okay, that's what I imagined. Also,
yes.
You're Alex Gray. Got it. So yeah, thanks for supporting. We're no longer accepting requests on Patreon because if you don't know, Alex is leaving the show by the end of the year. If you want to know why he's leaving the show, check out our King Crimson Part 1 episode. And
as I imagine, if you like Tool, you probably like King Crimson.
Yes, I very much in the same family of prog. Tool. I imagine lots of people have thoughts about this band, and I have thoughts about this band, and you have thoughts about this band. I know for a fact that you are a massive fan.
Yes, I am a big fan. I remember like in high school, I don't even think my friend let me borrow the CD. I think he just left Lateralus at my house, and I just like remember like popping it in my Walkman as I was doing homework and just being, because I was one of the before, or like if I'm familiar with music, I can study with music I know, but like before I could put on whatever and study. And like it was one of the few instances when I was younger where I was like completely engaged with the album. I couldn't study with it on. I had to like listen to this crazy new thing.
So how old were you when that happened?
I was probably like 14, 15, and like I knew like the radio songs, but I think listening to a Tool album is a very different experience than listening to their singles.
Definitely, because my first exposure to Tool, and here's the thing, I should have been a Tool fan because I was exposed so early. It was fucking the 90s on MTV. I was like 5 years old. I saw the music video to Sober, and I was in love. I was like, who is this amazing, perfect band that none of my brothers have ever showed me or talked about? I didn't know what it was. And I think I asked Robert or something. And I was like, what is this music video with? There's like a claymation guy and it's super cool. And he's like, oh, Tool. And that was it. That was it for years. That's all I knew about the band. No, like they just never came up again. I mean, I eventually know who they are, but they never came up in my life. I never listened to them. It wasn't until much later where I heard more things. I heard the things they're associated with. I heard various songs. I kind of understand what they do. I've heard like enough of it. I know all the members. And my consensus, because I heard before this episode, 3 albums. Once each, 3 albums once each. And I always felt that Tool was like a super overrated band, and I still like them. And after hearing all these albums, I still think they're overrated, but I like them more. And I think they're like a formidable metal band that likes to do one thing. That's pretty much how I feel about them.
I think that's fair. I've never tried to like dissect their career before, so I think I had some thoughts going into it, or I thought, oh, they only do the one thing, but doing this, I could see how they've changed. I can see how like different tendencies flourish more on different albums. But yeah, it was an interesting band to get into because it gave me a misleading idea of what I thought prog music was. And then I found out, and I've talked about this before, and we've talked about it on a prog rock band that should not be spoken of because I don't want any more shit for it.
Yeah, fans already know it's the prog rock band that we hate. There aren't many of those.
Although I do feel like that is a large section of prog rock, and
fair enough.
I find those fans obnoxious, being a young man playing the drums, and like I'm old enough that, you know, like forums were a thing, going on forums, just seeing people like glaze these motherfuckers, and it just like it drove me insane. So I think it like Tool gave me an unreasonable expectation of what I thought prog rock was. I still like a lot of it, but there's definitely the clean technical side, fans who just like Tool because they're technical players, but I think they happen to be good songwriters as well, because if it didn't sound appeasing to my ears, I wouldn't do it. And I've been on record as far back as like, you know, the Police episode where like I think Stuart Copeland's one of the greatest drummers ever. Am I going to listen to the Police because of it though?
Yeah.
Here and there, but not really.
Really, honestly, we didn't even cover it on that episode, but the Police Greatest Hits album is probably the only one you need. Like those albums are flawed as shit.
I disagree, because you wouldn't get weird songs like Behind My Camel.
Behind My Camel.
Yes,
Behind My Camel
yes.
is actually fair enough. That's not on the Greatest Hits. All right. But as for Tool and like their technicality, so they're like what the normal person thinks of when they think of like super crazy metal. And I mean, so I'm both bothered and not bothered by that. I'm not bothered because they are super duper technical. They are super duper technical. They do feel really good. Like the good stuff here is fucking great. And when they kick ass, they kick ass. I'm bothered by that because this is honestly some of the most inoffensive metal. Like the thing that Tool will never do. Tool does not like to hit wrong notes. Tool never hits wrong notes. They never do anything ugly. They never do anything unexpected. They never do anything crazy. They'll do maybe arrangement wise or performance wise. It'll be pretty crazy, especially drums. We're going to go way deep into Danny Carey's limbs. But in terms of like the actual songs, like you kind of know where they're all going to go. They all feel pretty much the same. Sometimes one will be more emotional. Sometimes one will be more mean, but they more or less all kind of go the same way. And that over the course of 5 albums eventually got me to like, okay, I need more. God damn it. There's 2 albums here that I'm like, fuck yes. There's one album that I like a lot. And there's 2 that I don't like.
Yeah, that's why you only get a Tool album every 5 years or sometimes longer.
Sometimes much longer.
I think the fan consensus is there's probably like 3 must listens. To me, it's a different 3, but we'll get into that. I like one a lot, and then even the one I like the least, I like Tool so much. I'll take Tool's worst album over a lot of people's best albums. Not bands
Some
that
would
I
say
like.
even the band we referenced earlier is best album for sure.
Like that one, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I very much like their sound. I get what you're saying, and I, especially at this point in their career, there are times where I'm like, I kind of wish do something like a little different, but at this point it is what it is. They're like in their 50s, mid 50s now.
60s.
60s.
Yeah.
So like
50s and 60s. It's crazy.
I mean, they built a crazy career out of barely putting out albums. I think there was a time where people didn't even really know what they looked like, because in the age of the music video, where like image is everything, they were putting out these horrifying claymation videos. They pretty much perform in darkness. So like, yeah, it's pretty amazing what they pulled off, but I don't think any of that means anything if the music's not good. So
it's so not only it's a big deal because in that era where you're saying images everything, and then you get this band that's doing something completely fucking different. That's definitely going to stand out. But it's not just that the music's it's solid. Because I don't think they're like a spectacular band. I think they're a good band. I think they're a very impressive band. But in terms of songwriting, like I've heard more moving emotionally and visceral metal. I think it's just they're so accessible. They're so accessible. Like they don't do anything that's going to fuck up any normal person.
I think the biggest thing for normal people is the song lengths. I think that is an asset that if they make hard rock, like technical hard rock that sounds normal to people's ears, but it's actually insane. Like the time signatures and such. What is this? It's just like a bonus. I do get what you're saying too, but like I think I think there's something about like those polyrhythms, and it's a very like hypnotic thing. They're one of my favorite live acts. Like hearing them perform their best songs live is like an experience. I can't really compare it to anyone else personally. Like maybe Mastodon at their prime and Volta. So yeah, but yeah, it's just like they barely tour, they barely put out albums. So I think seeing them live feels like a treat when it happens.
I've only seen them play a few songs live. I took my lady friend last year to. I mentioned in a previous episode. It was a Maynard's 60th birthday at the Hollywood Bowl. It was Pussifer, Perfect Circle, and Primus sharing one gigantic set. So like every 2 songs they would swap bands, which was pretty crazy. It was everybody was on stage at once kind of thing. And the very end, everyone from Tool came out and they played. I forgot how many songs, but like the big songs. And yes, very, very good stuff. Very impressive. I mean, but it's also like, you get players that fucking good. I mean, you get a drummer like Danny Carey, and it's just, he's going to like, there's so much that he does. Like there's so honestly, like, even though like the every part of the band is super tight and technical, weirdly enough, the stars are Maynard and Danny. Like the voice is super duper accessible for metal. Super duper accessible. He's a great voice. And then the drums are fucking like bananas. And it's not just that they're crazy and technical and proggy, because we have a lot of prog that's super crazy and technical and impressive, but it's not exactly it's not going to appeal to this fucking, like mom. I don't even know who listens to Tool. Moms can listen to Tool to a degree.
Ariana's
like the polyrhythmic,
Ariana loves Tool.
like the polyrhythmic stuff. It's so I was gonna say percussive, but that's redundant. It's so tribal, and there's so much movement. There's so many moving parts to it. It's so you can listen to it. You could remove, I would say for some of these songs, you can remove everything except the drums and you will be entertained. Like there's that much going on. There's that much, movement. It's like looking at a fucking light show, but in sound form.
I do think Justin Chancellor is equally important as the other two. I do think it's an interesting band where like Adam Jones is almost like, I don't want to say he's an afterthought. Like I love Adam Jones. Like he's like a fellow fan of like pro wrestling. So I feel like that like kinship with like
yeah.
metal wrestling. But like I remember like hearing like when I was learning more about music as a teenager and learning how to play drums and all that, like I really thought Schism was like a guitar riff. And then I was like, that's fucking
Oh yeah.
that's bass. And like Schisms is the biggest example, but there's so many instances where it's like bass and drums are like carrying the song. And I could see why Adam Jones and them are like friends with Primus, because I think God, I'm spacing on the guitar player's name from Primus.
Larry
like I think they have a similar method. Like their playing style's totally different, and what they choose to play is different. But they're both guitar players where they're like adding on top of these very like rhythmic bands.
They're bands, Primus maybe to a much more extreme degree, but they're bands where the guitar player is playing off of the bass rather than the bass sort of supplementing or holding the bottom of the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like without the bass riff, the guitar feels like it's not really, there's not a lot of direction, or there's not a lot of glue when it's just the guitar. Like the bass is really the thing that's holding the riff. The riff is in the bass for a lot of these songs. I mean, the Schism riff is a perfect example. I mean, that is the song. That riff, that like that's
yeah.
Without that, it's not the song.
It's got to be one of the most iconic bass riffs ever, and like up there with like Metallica's Orion, where people mistaken it for a guitar riff.
Yeah, it's a great riff, and there's a lot of stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, like the stuff that lands it's so characteristic and it's so accessible, and it's, even if it's long, it hits hard enough, and there's enough there's enough kind of I don't know, there's enough diversity in just the sections, and there's some of the albums have really good pacing, but when it doesn't hit, I find it to be like, oh, were you trying? Who wrote this riff? Why did he write this riff? This is the most basic shit in the world. Like some of these riffs are the most basic things in the world, played super technically. And that breaks my brain a little bit, where it's like, you can play this as crazy as you want, but a generic riff is a generic riff. And there was a couple albums where there's a lot of those.
I remember a few songs, me and my friends joking that they could be Godsmack songs.
You said it and not me, but yeah. I feel that, like, because it's like,
I mean, I think that is part of the reason they're a massively successful band.
Yes, though. I agree.
So I would be remiss without. It's kind of a backhanded compliment, but also like I'm a huge fan of the fucking band, so whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what it is. It's not like you're getting a whole set of different things with every album. Like, you know what you're getting. Tool is another Motorhead. They're another who's in their fucking band? They're another Slayer, they're another Motorhead, they're another Death Heaven. Honestly, they're another bands that we like, the bands that we love, but they do the thing. They do the thing, and that's cool.
And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it doesn't sound like generic hard rock because they're playing it very technically. Like, your ears hear what they hear. It doesn't, like, to most people, yeah, they're like, so what if it's in
27/8 or whatever the hell the time signature is.
46/2.
46/2, yeah. But yeah, we might as well jump into some of this backstory before we get into the albums. We have some notes here from our history guy, Tom Osman, who should all go support and follow. He has a cool accent. Go support him. We have, what do we got here? This is from Metal Hammer. It's an interview with Adam Jones from 2022. And then another piece from Metal Hammer called Story of the Early Days of Tool, and that's from 2021. And so as far as the early days go, this piece says, in the late 1980s, future Tool drummer Danny Carey had moved from Kansas to LA and joined the band Carmageddon, which included Green Jello guitarist Steven Shanar, who would later become Green Jelly, who would later do the soundtrack for Maximum Carnage. That's how I know Green Jelly.
Insane. I always forget about that.
What the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah. I think Tool is nothing short of an insane 6 degrees of separation to a lot of things.
Indeed. This goes on to say, at the time, Green Jello had a pool of 50 members, and Steven asked Bill if he could bring his other bandmates to jam. 9 musicians met up at Danny's Hollywood rehearsal space. In no time, Danny was playing with Green Jello and tipped Bill off about a 6,600 square foot artist loft space nearby, which became the band's home base. Soon after, Bill met future Tool guitarist Adam Jones, who had a good career working in Hollywood on movie special effects for films including Predator 2, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Jurassic Park, and had no intention of joining a band full time. Why would you? You know?
Yeah. It sounds pretty good already.
Holy, he worked on fucking Jurassic Park? What?
I'm assuming in some sort of stop motion capacity or
Did he
special
do all
effects.
the music videos?
Adam Jones, yes.
Man, no wonder. That's
Yeah.
super cool. To have that skill set and be able to use it for your band is so fucking cool. Oh, man. This goes on to say, Adam, who was born in Park Ridge, Illinois, started playing guitar after he found an old acoustic lying around his house, and in his teens, he played in a couple of no-name bands with his brother before forming the Electric Sheep with future Rage Against the Machine guitarist Tom Morello. Another weird connection there.
Yeah, like we've kind of talked about before, like we've kind of romanticized the 90s alt rock scene because like all these bands were friends, but they were so different. Like Rage, Tool, White Zombie, Primus, like they're all friends. You could throw them all on a bill and you wouldn't get fatigued because they all sound the same. That's probably why like 90s, honestly, like 90s Lollapalooza lineups look pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, the having to I mean, we don't have to, but the world today, you got to book the bands that are all similar, but it's like I get similar enough in that it's not, you're not going to put a fucking, this house DJ next to this fucking noise rock artist. I get that. But also you get it like 4 metalcore bands in a row. What the fuck am I watching? Like, like
it was kind of upsetting, but one time Tool did like a mini festival and that lineup was so good, but the execution was bad because it was over at this venue in San Bernardino, and like the way the sun was coming down, it was bad. But like, man, the lineup was the Melvins, Phantomos, and something happened with Phantomos, and they sounded awful. And I don't blame anybody; it's just a technical thing. Clutch, I don't know what the fuck Clutch is doing. Clutch is there. Primus, the Crystal Method, and Tool, like fucking amazing.
That's a crazy fucking lineup. That is a awesome lineup.
But yeah, between the sun like setting right over like you're looking at the stage and the technical difficulties with Phantomos, it was a little upsetting, but these things happen. They're a rock show. Clutch, Primus, for the most part, everyone sounded pretty good, but Clutch, Primus, Tool held their end of the bargain. Melvins are playing in the afternoon when people were coming in, and yeah.
The Melvins do so much for us, and we don't appreciate them nearly enough. They do everything for us.
Yeah, and Buzz was doing double duty. He's playing in Phantomos.
Buzz does double duty. He never complains. Nope. It's just his job. Yeah. He's the fucking best. He's literally my favorite guy in all of music, I think. Buzz Osman.
The most professional man ever.
Yeah, the most professional. He loves golf. He loves his fucking dogs. I mean, he's great. He's the best. So now we bring in Maynard. It says around the same time, Adam met Maynard James Keenan through a friend the singer was dating. The two musicians bonded about art, movies, and music, and soon became good friends. And this quote, I believe this is from Adam. He says, one day Maynard played me a tape of a joke band that he was in. I went, Maynard, you can sing. You sing good. So I kept bugging him to start a band on the side with me just for fun. At the time, I just wanted to play music as an outlet. I thought, here's my job working on special effects for movies, and there's my hobby playing guitar. Little did he know it would become the second biggest metal band in the world. Is that safe to say? Among the top 10 for sure.
Yeah. At time of recording, it's probably like Metallica, Tool, and Slipknot.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same three.
Yeah. Those are probably. I know like Maiden and Priest are still around, but they're like really up there in age and
really up there in age. And despite the fact that they have tons of merit, I don't like Iron Maiden very much, but I appreciate what they do, and I do like Priest. They don't have for some reason they almost skipped a generation. Like there's a whole group of people that are on board with Tool and Slipknot and Metallica that aren't on board with Priest and Maiden.
That makes sense. They're almost like too old. One of my favorite memories is showing you that crazy Judas Priest concert where I'm like, check this out. It's so crazy. Like Halford's here at one point and he just disappears and he just pops up. Like, I don't know if you remember.
I forgot. No, I forgot.
You were like, what the fuck am I watching? I was like, it's insane. He's like 60 years. Yeah, he's like 60 years old. And he just disappears on the stage, and you're like, "Where the fuck did he go?" And he shoots.
He shoots out of the fucking stage.
He doesn't
he's the best.
He doesn't pop up, but the thing lifts it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best. I love him. Ron Halford fucking rules. So the next stage of this little formation here. This is very in depth, which is helpful. When Maynard agreed to start jamming with Adam, they recruited Maynard's friend Paul Damore, who had recently moved from Seattle to LA to play bass with them. Since Maynard was already playing in Green Jello and recognized Danny's acrobatic abilities, he tried to get him to join them in Tool. Danny, who was already playing with numerous bands at the time, declined the invitation, so they flagged down a former drummer of Autograph to join them on drums. Whoever the fuck Autograph is.
I will quickly say it is kind of funny how similar Paul looks to Dale Crover. Like if they were in a band together.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
You'd be like, is this like a siblings band?
Holy crap. Yeah. No, I see it. Like when not like him with the beard or anything.
Sure.
Young with the fucking side hair. Yeah. For sure. Let's see. This is from Adam. He says, the guy didn't show up and Danny filled in because he felt sorry for us. We were laughing our asses off about it afterward because Danny said, well, I'll sit in on the session, but that's it. He sat in and then went, wow, we should jam again. Then he said we should jam a couple times a week. From that point on, he was in. Look at that.
It's this one of those serendipitous things.
Indeed. And when you land on, honestly, one of the greatest fucking drummers of all time, I mean, yeah.
He's like, yeah. That's probably why I stopped playing drums, because of drummers like Danny. I'm like,
you use it as inspiration. You use it as the top of the mountain of maybe one day, but maybe not. And either way, it's still great.
Yeah, I did for a little bit, and then I was like, man, it's a big fucking mountain.
If you're trying to learn drum or trying to learn drums, and then you're trying to play along to songs, that's what you do when you learn drums.
Yeah,
you ain't doing it to Tool.
No,
you're just fucking not.
No, maybe. You get like the beat down for Schism after racking your brain, like you're doing what, and then but you're just playing that beat. You're not doing much after that.
Yeah, I even though it's really fun to play along to songs, I used to do. That's how I used to practice back years ago. My relationship with drums has always been very off and on because I never had my own drum set. But at one point there was a drum set in my house, and I just play along to fucking Minutemen songs and a bunch of other crap, and nowadays I fucking can't do that. Nowadays I use drums specifically to write music, which is perfect for me because I can't fucking focus on how to learn this drum beat that someone else did. If you just put me in front of a drum set, I'll start experimenting. I'll start coming up with weird shit, and then I'll do it fucking 10,000 times in a row until I get it right. So I found my little avenue of learning drums. And it is not playing Tool songs. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No, I think when you're young, playing along to songs, it's more like building up stamina. Like even if you're playing wrong, if you like made it through like 5-6 songs, you're building up that stamina. So,
dude, I still don't understand. I used to play a lot of punk songs when I was a teenager. I have no idea to this day how those fucking guys have that much stamina.
I love Gene Hoglan. We love Gene Hoglan here, don't we, folks?
Oh,
we love Gene Hoglan.
We love Gene Hoglan.
I don't know how he's fat. Like the shit he's playing should be burning 1,000,000 calories a second.
Well, there's one thing I've learned, Alex, is that the body adapts.
It
So when
does,
it's no longer
yeah.
difficult for you to do it, he ain't gonna fucking burn any calories.
That's true.
He's that good that he
He's
doesn't
that
burn a
fu-
single calorie.
So good at drums that he can do it in his sleep.
Also, Bill Stevenson from Descendants and Black Flag
Oh,
and
yeah.
all, where
Yeah.
he was like 400 pounds and he had to learn how to play the fucking drums differently because he was too fat to get his arm around. Like in his own words, he was too
Man.
fat to play the drums.
Man. Also, shout out to, while we're talking about Husky Boys, shout out to Poison Idea.
Oh,
That's like the
kings.
kings of fat guys. And I
Oh my God.
say that
Yeah.
with nothing but love in my heart for them.
Do I still have it? Yeah, I have one of the records behind me. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But so it says it wasn't long before Tool had a handful of solid songs, which they eventually split between 1992's Opiate and 1993's Undertow. While Tool became more psychedelic and lyrically profound in the late 90s, they were initially motivated by being broke, living in a smoggy, overcrowded city, hating their neighbors, and other pet peeves. Tool were signed to Zoo Entertainment after only their 7th gig. Clearly, there was some luck involved, having met the right people at the right time. But the band's approach to music was refreshing compared to all the other groups that were trying to get record deals by tapping into the alt-rock grunge market and the success of Nirvana. Yes, that is probably a huge deal of what made them stand out so much.
Yeah. It's very easy to be like, this trend's happening, we should do this. Unfortunately, some bands, we've talked about a lot of these bands that got caught up in that where they happen to sound close enough to Nirvana, but the label severely like misunderstood the type of band they were. I'd argue even the Melvins being one of those bands. And then, yeah, so I think Tool just sounding different was great. The label knew what they were getting. There's no, well, actually, we sound like this and we want to do this.
That's a funny thing about the Melvins too, where like Buzz has gone on record saying like, oh yeah, I thought we were just gonna get the one and then that would be it. But they gave us fucking 3. They gave us 3. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And all 3 of those albums were so crazy different from each other. They're all 3 really interesting albums. But Tool, this goes on to say, which is pretty interesting. It says Tool had a different kind of aesthetic. Each member had a distinct personality that helped propel the band. Maynard was heavily influenced by singers like Joni Mitchell and the Swans' Michael Gira. We just interviewed Michael Gira like a few weeks ago, so go check out that, as well as all our Swans episodes. Both of whom injected a lot of emotion and heart-on-sleeve vulnerability into the music. Danny was a highly skilled drummer, heavily influenced by proggy players such as Rush's Neil Peart, shocker. Paul, who came from the Midwest grunge scene, took a guitarist approach to bass. You don't say, giving the songs a melodic anchor. Adam wasn't just a power chord riffer. He was also like a surrealist painter who created dizzying pictures with sound and didn't pander to conventional ideas of strong song structure. They're grasping at straws with
Sure.
that one. I could feel it.
Sure. To me,
they had no influences to pull from there.
to me, I don't know anything about Tool's bass players. Danny's the basketball guy, Maynard's the wine guy, and Adam is the wrestling guy. That's how I know him.
Nice. I haven't tried Maynard's wine. My lady friend has, and she says it's very tasty. So I'll take her word for it.
If you want to see the funniest TV show ever on your favorite TV channel, Access, or the Old Man Rock and Roll channel, of course, Sammy Hagar has a show on there, and one of the episodes is him and Guy Fieri going to Maynard's winery. It's exactly as awkward as you think it is, and
yes,
it's so fucking weird and
yes,
yeah.
Wow, fuck yes, I want that. I want Maynard and Guy Fieri.
It's so like Hagar and Guy. Of course they hang like they look the same, of course, and then
yes, they're the same. Yeah, one is music, one is food, but they're the same dude. Speaking of Guy Fieri, he was on Rogan recently, and I had to watch a few minutes because I just want to see Guy Fieri. Like, what is? I'll never watch an interview with Guy Fieri, and they showed his audition tape, his like submission tape for his very first show. Like, it was like a contest. That's how he became famous. He entered a contest because everyone like badgered him. He kept trying to weasel his way out of it. And he finally reluctantly agreed. He's like, fine, I'll make a fucking audition tape for this, cooking show bullshit.
Yeah.
So they show the video. He did it in one take. Fucking natural.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was flawless. Yeah. Of course he's famous. Of course Guy Fieri. Like, that was the one take that you did just to get your friends to stop bugging you. It was perfect. It was amazing.
I like the clip where he's there to talk about like drugs and psychedelic things, and he thinks he saw his father reincarnated as an owl, and Rogan just goes, owls are some of the stupidest animals in the world. It's just, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I like that response.
Like, it's so awkward. I don't know how it happened. I mean, yeah, guy said it's fine. Like, he's like, it came across awkward, but it's fine.
That's fucking hilarious. I love owls. I'm gonna go ahead and do some research. That's stupid. Interesting. That's great.
I just saw that clip. I was fucking dying.
Where the fuck was I? Okay, so they're writing all the first songs. And it says, while Tool had written most of the songs on Undertow by the time they recorded Opiate, they decided to enter the international music scene with a bang, not a whine. So they put their loudest, most abrasive songs on Opiate and saved the rest for later. So we're not covering Opiate. We're only covering the studio albums. That is something we should probably put right in the front, right out the gate.
Yes. I don't want to get injury reserved for this.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get injury reserved. Like, you can't, but it's totally fucking. You need to do it.
You know what?
Maybe
I've listened to Opiate. It's a good EP, but I don't really think it would add much to the lore here.
Mm-hmm. I imagine. I mean, they're written around the same time as Undertow. So if you take the most aggressive songs of Undertow, I imagine it's in the same feel as that. We're not really looking at the evolution quite yet with that one, but that leads us into Undertow. Today we're going to be covering all 5 albums. First one, 1993. Most recent, 2019. So, are you ready?
I am ready. We went on so many side quests in the lead.
So many. This is a very lengthy. It's going to be a lengthy episode. This is one of the lengthiest intros that we've done. But whatever. This is 1993's Undertow. I forgot about the intros. The intros are going to be a thing in this episode.
They are.
Should have definitely. There we go. I could have definitely just fast forwarded 20 fucking seconds. It would have been a lot better.
I know they're a 90s band, but really only for like 2 albums. This is like the most 90s production, I think.
It is the most 90s production. It is the most 90s sounding song. I mean, many of these are. But this, this is like straight up 90s metal. Straight up. MTV, completely.
Again, I think this is a great introduction to the band because you hear the polyrhythms, the bass driving the song, and yeah.
It's a cool song. It's a fun opener. It's not the most deep thing, but I can say that about most of the album. I have a big problem with the production here. I think they just hadn't figured out how to mix them as a band yet. So I think
that's
certain things aren't highlighted. Yeah. Maynard already has a cool style. He's already doing that shit.
I don't think there's enough modern metal bands trying to sing different. It is something I do like about Tool. These aren't traditional metal vocals by any sense.
No, they're not, and they're very cool. But having said that, worst.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
I don't fucking like this album. I never liked it. I heard this album before and I hated it then. I don't hate it as much now, but I definitely felt I actually kind of appreciated it more going through the whole discography.
Mm-hmm.
So like on second listen here, I was I was definitely a little bit softer on it, but there's a few things that really stand out. One is that they're a new band, so they just haven't figured out how to record or how to mix themselves right. So the fucking bass did dirty on here. Like that bass, there's no bottom on this album, and these are songs that should feel so chunky and heavy, but you just hear you feel like you could hear, like, I think he's using a pick, but you could hear like the plucking of the bass, and the guitars are all fucking cranked. But this isn't like a guitar band. So it kind of, the songs don't come across as heavy as they probably should feel. And Maynard's vocals, despite them being really cool, and I do like the way he sounds on this whole album, he's louder than everything. And that's probably a 90s thing. I don't fucking remember, but he's too loud. Bass is too quiet. That's my main problem with the production.
There is just, I don't know. There's too many bangers on here. I can, I can't deny Sober. It's, one of their biggest songs. And I remember it fondly as if you were watching MTV post this album, whenever something bad happened on MTV's reality TV shows, they'd always like cue up Sober. It was so funny. It was the trademark something bad is happening on MTV song.
Really? Oh, wow.
Like whenever I hear it, I just picture like some drama going down in my head.
Sober. So I already told the story about how I was like so enamored with it as a kid, and I never heard it again. So I don't like it nearly as much now. It's extremely, I mean, it's just 2 chords for the whole song, but the thing is, it's still, like, the vocal lines are so good, especially on the chorus. I mean, there's good melody, there's good structure to it. What turned me around completely was I just watched the video again. When I was doing my second listen, I just put the video on instead of letting it play through the album. And I was like, oh yeah, I can see why I was in love with this. This is fucking fun. This is great. This is so fun.
Yeah. Talking about how it's one of the more simpler Tool songs, I think of that like drum fill intro where it's really probably not even in the top 10 most impressive things Danny Carey's done as a drummer, but it's just kind of iconic. So yeah, it's this album does like occupy this like weird space with the band where, like you said, that I think they are still finding their voice is there, but they are also still finding it. So
you can say this like, oh, this is the most different Tool album out of all of them, but really, like, all the 2 albums, they kind of fit together if you're listening to them in order. If you were to listen to, like, the second album then the last album, like they don't really, like, it's the same band, obviously the same band, but like you hear like, oh wait, these are 2 very different albums. So in that sense, this isn't that different when you compare it to like what's coming right after. But why I find this album to be so weak is that essentially what I got from this was these are like if Helmet didn't have the riffs, that's what I felt like this album. If Helmet didn't have the riffs or the production, this feels like a very watered down Helmet.
That's interesting. This is the like Tool album for people who don't want to think. If you don't like to think, if you don't want anything fancy or dicking around parts in your music, like this is the album. This is their most hard rock album. It definitely, like, there's like sludge elements. There's even like thrash elements in one song. So
wait, which one was that?
So the title track I think is interesting because I think some of those riffs are also like, I can like hear some slint in them. I don't know if that was intentional. And like the final minute or so, the title track does get like pretty sludgy. I think like Flood is like, I think some people are like the Melvins hang out with Tool, and like Flood is that direct connection between the 2 bands.
I think Flood, if I had to pick one, I think Flood is my favorite song on the album, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's a nice combo of prog and sludge. And yeah, there's certain things in here that stand out to me more than others, but so I can say this about a lot of albums, but there's like, okay, the whole song is too much for me, but there was a few moments where like those are fucking great moments. I feel that about a lot of these songs, like Swamp Song, which is like I just wasn't so bored by it. But then around 250, the section with the drum clicks and the palmated guitars going, and I was like, oh, that's a cool little section. Or the title track you're talking about, the final minute. There's I think the final 30 seconds, it goes into this crazy prog riff. It's so cool, it's so good, and it's only in the final 30 seconds. It's it's such a letdown.
Yeah, I noted that as well. I really like Carrie's playing on Swamp Song. I think it's some of the most unique beats on this album, at least. And I think Swamp Song also is a good highlight for Maynard's vocals. Like he's really throwing them around there, so to speak. To me, the most jarring thing, the elephant in the room, are the lyrics to Prison Sex. That is like some of the most gnarly fucking like disturbed, like up there with like fucked up Swan songs, which I'm assuming was maybe an inspiration.
Perhaps. I don't know the lyrics. I wasn't listening for them, but I'm going to read them right now.
I was going to say I wrote them down. Of course I wrote.
Go ahead. Give me some highlights.
Sure, because I want to be on camera saying this. One of them is Release and Sodomy, and then later goes on to say, I need you to feel this. I need you to make me whole. And then later, shit, blood, and come on my hands. Like, brutal,
yeah, all right,
brutal.
It's pretty nasty. That's pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah. Surprisingly, around 3:15, surprisingly groovy.
Oh yeah, that change is cool. I like. Yeah. So I wasn't really on board for the first time, but then that part comes in and it turned it around for me, and I was kind of okay with it by the end of it. And then Bottom is a song that I was not into, and then I warmed up on second listen
because you heard Henry Rollins' voice.
Here's the thing: on first lesson, because Henry Rollins does do spoken word on it, even Rollins couldn't save it for me on the first listen. I was like, this song is just boring. I like it better on second listen. I don't hate it. It is a little bit boring, but there's the fucking stoner rock section at the end with these bells. I mean, that's a great section. So little things like that where it's like, all right, I can hang on to that. But or in the you mentioned thrash. Crawlaway has that fucking random ass double kick section around 340.
That was the part I was referencing specifically. And that's the most normal double bass playing you're ever going to hear Danny Carey do, at least in Tool. Yeah. I was not expecting that. It's almost strange hearing just a fucking regular double kick. But yeah, other than that, like I just get bored. It's just there's such simple songs, which is fine, but they're simple songs with riffs that do nothing for me. They're all hitting the right notes, like I kind of mentioned at the beginning. They're hitting just mean, hard rock, angry, but they're not just and that would also, again, Helmet's a great band. You don't have to be like this super dynamic, crazy, textured metal band. But there's something that's not there for me. Like the riffs just don't kick enough ass. The production is maybe not their fault, but it's also not really impactful. And then there's a bunch of bullshit like Disgustipated. Like what the fuck is that song? Sure, but it's at the there is some bullshit at the end of albums that kind of bothers me. I don't know why Disgustipate was like the one I'll give a pass to.
This is the one you'll give a pass to.
This is the one the other ones kind of rub me, not all of them, but maybe like two other ones. I'm like, but yeah, maybe also because this is like their shortest album, but they're
shortest by what? 1 minute? They're all an hour 15 and then an hour and a half.
Not by much. No, it's still a very long album. I don't know. Maybe it was just in the beginning, so I'll allow it. But Tool's a very good band at making you forget. They're just a three-piece instrumentally. Very good at making you forget that. not on this album, you very much know this is like 4 guys.
Yeah, you definitely feel the lack of textures and layers on here, but the songs are super simple. So it's not like they're begging for a bunch of layers. But with stuff like Disgusted, I can see. So I like the concept of it. I think it's a very cool concept. I think the textures are cool. I think like the sledgehammer sounds and the fucking crazy industrial aspects of it. It's when the fucking overly dramatic, scary vocals come in. I'm like, all right, easy with the "this is necessary" over and over again. Okay, it just dips into cheesy territory for me.
I like the preacher end time over the megaphone thing.
Oh yeah, I almost thought it was fucking Les Claypool at first because he has a little bit of a little
like a little twang.
Yeah, but yeah, other than that, like it's just an album full of very similar songs, but the most like hard rock, like basic ass hard rock riffs, and the whole discography are on this album. And I think there's just like, given where they go and how technical they get and how intricate they get, this has to be worse. I mean, it's just so stripped down, and the things that would make it like an essential listen, the barbarism, the primitive, simple, primal angry, you don't feel it because the riffs are fucking generic, and it's also not produced in a way that's like brutal. So easy worse for me.
It's kind of crazy.
I'm not the only person who hates this album,
but
I'm probably not amongst a large group.
Yeah. You know who mixed this album?
Who?
And you're probably going to be disappointed. Our boy, Howie Weinberg.
Howie Weinberg, the guy who did everything.
Oh, no. I think I confused him.
He mastered it. He mastered it.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, he's the master guy.
Yeah.
This is mixed by Ron St. Germain.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. I forget the last, but we've talked about Howie recently. Maybe on King Crimson. I don't know.
I forget. Howie Weinberg worked with it. He worked on almost every album known to man. That was good.
If you listen to music, you've heard his work.
Yeah, easily.
Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys. God damn.
Okay, sorry.
So this album did pretty well. It says as Tool continued to attract more mainstream listeners, Undertow would eventually go double platinum. The band started questioning why its subversive messages were winning over commercial audiences and whether they had turned the wrong corner somewhere. In addition, personality conflicts erupted, and being in a crowded bus for months at a time exacerbated tensions within the band. By the end of the tour, the 4 musicians that had been best friends needed some space and parted ways with Paul D'Amour due to creative and personal differences. According to Maynard, he says, some of the growing pains really started to set in when we were on the road for Undertow, where we started to figure each other out and figure out what the nuances were and hangups and emotional, mental obstacles. We started to really see that the business is a tough one to fucking navigate and get away from. I think we went from 0 to jaded in under 30 seconds. The honeymoon was definitely over. But yeah, we're not even close to done. So you ready?
I'm ready.
This is 1996's AEnima. Already more creative.
Yes, like what is this instrument I'm hearing?
Yeah.
This shit hits hard.
Oh yeah. And now the production is there. This is what I wanted from the debut. That bass, ooh, big bottom.
I'm gonna assume this is a odd time signature, but you could still like kind of bob your head to it.
This is 4/4.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah. And now we got the Tool anthemic choruses.
This is one of their most, like anthemic songs for sure.
A high I think they would begin to start chasing as the albums go on. Now that rules.
Also,
I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Also, like Danny Carey's playing is like extra tight here. Like, I'd argue it gets more like not in a bad way, but like it's just mind-boggling how in the pocket this dude is.
Yeah, and with every successive album, he gets crazier and crazier until it's just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I remember first time listening to Undertow years back, and I was like, I hate this. And then I listened to this right after. I was like, oh yeah, oh thank God. Yes, Tool is good. It's like this is for me, this is like such a relief album. It's like this is so much better. I feel like this is a fucking like light. I think this is their biggest evolution in the entire discography. Like this, from that album to this album, it's like the biggest jump.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of worked my way backwards at the time I was getting into them, and thankfully they only had 3 albums out. Not like 5 is a hassle, but I just kind of worked my way backwards. And yeah, what a crazy discography that this is like getting 0 accolades from us, because I think this is like one of the greatest albums ever. But like
it is fucking cool.
Yeah, it feels weird not giving it anything. Yeah, I mean, yeah, easy essential 90s listening here.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites among the my 2 favorites for sure. And the only reason why I didn't give this one anything is because the other one I think is just has much better flow, because
I think we're both going in the same place. But it'd be funny if we don't.
It would be funny if we don't. Because there's only a few things I don't really enjoy. There's one thing that I found unusual. I'm really like across the board, their title tracks don't really do it for me. Like not entirely. Like I still like some of their titles, but like compared to other songs on the album, I find like the title tracks to be noticeably weaker. I don't like the title track on this one. It's like the only song that I'm not really into. And especially because it comes so late in the album, it feels worse because of that.
Yeah, that is I think that's like a good point with the title tracks. Although doing this 6 years, we oddly not uncommon. A lot of bands fumble the title tracks.
The title track. Yeah.
It's like it's almost like a curse or something.
You got to be careful with the title tracks.
You do. You really do. Yeah, this definitely like Hooker with the Penis is like one of my favorite angry Tool songs. Like when I'm angry, there's just something about being able to sing like fuck you, buddy. Also, it's so funny because they seem like this timeless band that talks about almost these like ethereal things, but it's such like a 90s, like the lyrics at least. Like I saw a guy wearing a dope BCT. Like,
oh man, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That is
Vans 501. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so dated, but it is a cool song and it's really good for pacing too. Because of the energy and movement on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not super big on like honestly, most of their interludes. Sometimes they have one that I like, a few that I like. I'm not super big on these interludes.
I agree. I think the best one on this album, because it's so unique and different, is shit. I think it like auto corrected.
Is it the D era von Satan?
Yeah, or the Eggs of Satan. It's just so machine-like and mechanical, and it sounds nightmarish, and you bring in like the German vocals, and it's just like great nightmare fuel shit.
I wasn't super big on it, but it is the best, and it's like a worse Neubauten. That's what it sounds like. It's super mechanical, German, and metallic sounding and industrial. I don't know. Apparently, it's Marco Fox on vocals, whoever the hell that is, but conceptually, I do like it. I don't love the way it's pulled off, but for all the interludes, definitely the most interesting.
Yeah, the only guest vocalist, or I guess more of a sample I noticed, was Bill Hicks on Third Eye, which is a very experimental track. You get like the Bill Hicks joke, and then you get the electronics, almost like a drum solo after, and then you finally get vocals and riffs around like 2:30, and it's pretty gratifying when that song explodes, even if it's like very briefly.
There, it's in like the final 2 minutes. There's like this really strong solo there. It's like it's like a good closer. I mean, I like the song. It's like probably one of my favorite, might be my favorite closer of now that I'm thinking about it, might be my favorite closer. It's a great song, but goddamn, like it's so, I mean, this is a long album. We did to sit through that, all that first chunk after that whole album, after the fucking bullshit ass Ions, random sound bullshit that goes on for 4 minutes. Like, yeah, there's a lot of fat on here. There's a lot of fat on all these albums, but like that's kind of would ruin the pacing, especially toward the end for this one.
I don't mind things like Ions or, intermission, even Message to Harry Manback, which is actually kind of funny. It's like this European person, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, 1 in 4 Americans die of cancer. I hope like a loved one's suffering. It's like it's kind of funny.
It is pretty funny. The dramatic piano with that message is pretty funny.
Yes.
So I completely forgot about intermission. That's the fucking best interlude. It's the fucking carnival organs. That's the best one. Take it back.
Yeah.
Fuck that other German one. It's the carnival one that's the best one.
It's short. Yeah. It's carnival music. But yeah, I don't know. These are some of, like, with Stinkfist and 46 and 2 and Hooker. I think these are like some of the best Tool songs ever. I think most fans would probably put Push It up there as well. It is funny.
Push It is very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. It is funny how many of these are like leftovers with Paul, or he's credited. So that is interesting. I do think like Push It and Jimmy kind of occupy the same space a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of sameness. It's just a band that has sameness, and that's only bad for me when the albums are this long, where it's like, we got it. You have the style. It's a cool style. Are you going to do it for 10 minutes? Are you going to do it for an hour and a half? How long are you going to fucking do this? So I like both songs just fine. If it actually helps that the crazy German interlude is in between them.
I think this album has a good balance of normal length songs, which are, still up there in 6 minutes. And they only really hit you over the head with songs like pushing 10 minutes, like here and there, like Push It and Third Eye. And they're like, I think the pacing of the album works for me, especially as like a Tool fan. But yeah, before doing this, I didn't realize how many of these songs were like holdovers that Paul wrote as well. So I think that is interesting and does help explain my love of Justin Chancellor more at a certain point.
Right. Yeah. Because there isn't quite as much bass craziness on this one. I mean, it's still a lot more than
it's still
the debut, but
fundamental part of the band. But I think it does click very soon. Yes,
for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's such a massive step above the debut in basically every way. But yeah, the only thing that stops it from getting anything positive or any accolades or best or personal favorite is the final 20 minutes wear me down. And that's, even though I like the closer, it's a big 20 minutes. That's a lot of album. Like that's a whole EP's worth of an album.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's their second best album. So
I agree. I also agree. But the highs are still crazy fucking high. So Billy Howardell, from A Perfect Circle, was the guitar tech and Pro Tools technician on this album.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting. I guess that's where he got on board and made it eventually. The seeds of A Perfect Circle are planted. How long have Perfect Circle been around?
Long time.
Have they really? Oh, crap.
I remember hearing Judith and this being like, this is so tame. Like this is like Tool light. Oh,
they've been around since 99.
Yeah.
They're the accessible, like if Tool is accessible, Perfect Circle is like extra accessible. I don't have much of a problem with Ferguson. I like some of the stuff, but of course, never did a deep dive in any of these bands until now with Tool. But
although, yeah, if you want shorter, less complicated,
definitely shorter. That's for goddamn sure.
Their debut album is only 44 minutes, so
unheard of, crazy. What is it? Just one song? That's crazy. And then this was engineered or produced, mixed by Dave Bottrill, who Tom notes here. It says he also has credits with Peter Gabriel, King Crimson, Deus, and Muse, whom Tom hates.
Well, that all checks out, and Tom and other people can hate Muse, but I don't know. Those guys, I'm just going to say those guys can write a song, and their live show is fucking great.
I've only heard some Muse songs. Everyone keeps telling me to listen to Muse. I'll get around to it someday. I didn't hate what I heard, honestly.
Honestly, I think it's kind of cool to like hate on Muse. I think they kind of had a journey. I remember people making like Radiohead jokes about them early in their career, and then they kind of warped into almost like a prog band. And I would tell, like, I used to tell people, like, when Baroness's Blue album came out, that like if you want like a heavier Muse, like check out Baroness's Blue album, because
that's my favorite Baroness album.
Yeah, the song Horse Called Galactus or whatever. I forgot.
Gorgorath. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, Ash from Evil Dead. Like if you clean that up a little bit, like that could be a Muse song.
Funny thing about that album, I was listening to it in the car with my cousin who's from England a few years back, and he said, "This really sounds like Muse. Have you listened to Muse?"
See? Yeah. I'm not crazy. Yeah,
it was that album specifically. Alex is on it today.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're in both of our opinions, their second best album. I mean, a great album. It was a huge relief to hear this one. Some of their best songs ever. Long for sure, and with some fat on here and some stuff that probably a little unnecessary, but goddamn, it's fun. You ready for the next one?
Oh yeah, I've got notes.
I bet you got some notes. So here we go. This is 2001's Lateralus. Sounds like the same band, if I'm not mistaken.
Somehow. And then, like, somehow Danny's even tighter. I don't...
He's just doing more. Every album, he just does more.
He's grown more limbs.
Yeah, he adds another drum every album.
Is this Goro from Mortal Kombat?
Mm-hmm. It's tall enough.
He's fucking tall enough. That's why he likes... I think he used to play basketball.
Oh. More Eastern, more tribal than before.
But yeah, this is why I love Tool. Like... Yeah, just let me listen to this for 10 minutes. Let's calculate what we will not tolerate, desperate to control all and everything, unable to forget these scarlet lettermen.
Oh, God. So cool. So cool.
On a fucking dime.
Yep. The dynamics on the song alone are already like just fucking, it's so much more. Like, it's still obviously the same band. There's still the same types of riffs.
Yeah.
But there's just more. It's just so much more developed.
Could you do me a favor when you decide to fade out, and then fast forward to like that around 7-minute mark? Because we gotta play that part.
Okay. I mean, this verse part is so fucking good. It's so satisfying. Okay. You said 7 minute what?
Yeah, just like a little before 7 minutes. Like you get, I think that's the part. This shit.
Oh, god damn, that hits hard.
holds it for like 20 seconds.
That is one hell of a scream.
Still.
Yep. Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah, if that
That is
doesn't
good
do
stuff.
something to your soul, I don't like, man, yeah, best personal favorite. Easy.
Best personal favorite. Yeah. Yeah. And this became pretty easy. It was as soon as I finished this one, I thought like, this has got, I mean, I don't know. I never look into like what people think of the, whatever band we're listening to before, I listened to it. Hearing him, like, this has to be everyone's favorite. I mean, like, this is so obviously like very consistent the whole way through.
I mean, it's this or AEnima, I think. It's funny because I've never felt disappointed by Tool, but before going into this, I wasn't sure what my favorite is, and it's just the production, the playing on this is like on another level, even for Tool.
It's fantastic. It's the most cohesive Tool album. It's the most Tool album. Like, it's like everything that makes them, even if you're not a fan, everything that makes them objectively great. Because I'm not the hugest Tool fan, but there are things they are objectively great at, and they're all here. This is the album that has it all.
I agree with you. It has songwriting. It has acceptable dicking around parts. It is Maynard's best performance, and it's Danny Carey's best performance. Not like they're slouches, but it's just like, yeah, if they do the Grudge live, I don't think Maynard does that scream for 20 seconds.
There's no fucking way. He's touring. He's gonna ruin his voice for the rest of for one song and one. No way. It's like,
I don't know if they do Ticks and Leeches much, which is to me the best. That's the best Danny Carey track. Like, if you need a track for why people like that guy as a drummer that highlights his prowess, and then Maynard's vocals are just so nasty on there, like in a good way. They sound so gross. And yeah, it's kind of hard to highlight a drummer's technical prowess without it turning into a wank fest. But like, Ticks and Leeches is just like a legitimately good song.
Ticks and Leeches, it's funny you said it, because on my notes, the first thing I wrote was, this is why Danny's beloved. Like,
it is. I think that's, I don't even think that'd be like a controversial take to say that's his, like, pretty unanimously agreed. Like, that's the track.
That's crazy, because I mean, I don't know anything about this band, and I just picked that up on first listen. So like, I mean, that's how cool.
Good, yeah, that's how good it is.
And everybody's all just completely on point with it. So like, I mean, the drums are just fucking absolutely masterful. And what the fuck else? I mean, this is the album with Schism. Now we got Schism on here. I mean,
it never gets old. I can't really think of a lot of songs where, like, I feel like everybody is kind of playing the same thing, if that makes sense. Like, the guitar, the bass, the drums, and the lyrics are all doing like the same pattern. Yeah. It's kind of surreal. Usually you can hear a song and you're like, oh, they're doing these different things, and obviously, you know, they're different instruments and even vocals, but like, they're somehow all hitting like the same melodies. It's just,
they're all hitting the exact same beats. It's a very unified song. It's like they're very much on the same wavelength.
Also, like, I feel like I don't mind some flanger on drums, but it can become like a little gimmicky. And I just think the flanger effects on the drums on Schism are so fucking cool.
So this is where they start increasing the production, and the production increases gradually with every album. This is where we start getting the crazy psychedelic stuff, the Eastern stuff, a lot of the really, really tribally stuff. Like, they're starting to go hard with the tribal stuff, and that's kind of like what makes them that's the hypnotic layer of Tool that obviously we got zero of on the first album, and then we got a little bit of on the previous one on AEnima. But here it's like, yeah, this is just like the culmination of all the right things. I was like, this is the Porridge is Just Right album.
Yeah. And then, yeah, like, Parabole, Parable and Parabola. That's like one of my top 5 Tool songs.
Yeah.
I love how Parable is this subdued, misleading thing, and you don't think it's going to take you on this like rocking journey, but it does with Parabola. I mean, that's like top tier polyrhythms on that song as far as I'm concerned.
For sure. I have mixed feelings about Parabola. I think I was harder on it on first listen and then warmed up more on second listen.
I think,
but overall, I think I don't have that much mixed feelings about this whole album. There's only the only things I don't like. I think there's only one song I don't like actually, and I think it's Triad or Triads. No, just Triad. Sorry.
It's so crazy how like, I guess because Ticks and Leeches is this very like tight, unified thing where there's not a lot of room for exploration, but like Triad became like the song they do where they'll usually bring out like a second drummer and they'll do Triad live. Like I've seen them do it with Cody Willis.
Nice.
Probably Braun, if maybe. I know I've seen Braun and Danny Carey separate, which is fucking amazing, but and then the Ice, I've seen him do it with the ISIS drummer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's interesting how like Triad became the live drum song, but I think it's because it's a little more free forming. You can bring that second drummer out. They could do their own thing, and it's almost like Triad in name only.
I don't even have that big of a problem with Triad. It's the fact that it's the closer or almost closer, and it's not that. I just needed something more different. I needed something a lot different, honestly, at the end of this massive album. But it is pretty cool on its own. So speaking of like the Eastern stuff, we have the most boing of boingy drums on Reflection. I mean, man.
Yeah. I'm spacing on what those like. I feel like I learn what those like Indian hang drums are called, and then I forget every time. Because they play them in the action movie No One Saw Monkey Man. They're like a very important thing in that movie, and I learned what they were called, and I forget. But yeah, anyways.
It is interesting.
Yeah, those hang drums are cool. They are very boingy. And then there's like, again, kind of masking the fact that there's only 3 people playing instruments. There's like this string instrument. You're like, is that guitar? Is it? Yeah, it's very cool. I think bringing some electronics in is also a nice touch.
Yeah, it's pretty lengthy. It's 11 minutes, but it might be my favorite on the album. If not, then it's one of. I really do dig Reflection quite a bit.
Yeah. It is interesting how the song before that, Disposition, is almost like Tool doing Muzak.
Yes, but it's such a needed pacer track. Like, because it comes right after the title track and comes up before Reflection. It's just, it's clean and it's pretty, and it's brief. It's a wonderful little palate cleanser.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking long as shit, and it's very much Tool, the band. You're not getting anything else, but goddamn, this is the one. I'll keep this one for sure. I mean, this one and AEnima for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I think it's odd and great how this was like my first like proper introduction to the band outside the music videos. This is my first album, and I think it is like their most perfect album.
If I had been shown this album when I was much younger, I would be a diehard Tool fan to this day, I think. Yeah.
Well, it worked on me, so.
It worked on you. I can easily see that.
Yeah. Also, I wasn't really listening to weird music, so like this is like life-changing for me.
Yeah. God damn. That's pretty cool. I
wasn't listening to like prog or weird stuff at all. This was like
the gateway to prog. I mean, it's many people's gateway to prog. It's most people's gateway and then end gate to prog. It's like they start here and they stop here. Like lots of people.
It's weird. They sound nothing like Yes or King Crimson, but it somehow does like prepare your ears for those bands.
Yeah, the fact that it's just not a simple beat is enough to kind of prime you a little bit.
Also,
But-
I think this like having like a cohesive theme and vision, like I think I sold most of my CDs and gave a lot to Mike, but I did hold on to some, and I think I held on to my Tool albums because like the CD like came layered. Like the album, you like peeled back the like layers of the like skin on this person. It's like
Oh.
some of the coolest packaging in music. Like the packaging for like AEnima is cool too. They have like 3D stuff. Like they always have cool packaging, except on Undertow.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool because now we got the reference from earlier, Alex Gray doing the cover. I mean, the cover is so fucking cool.
And that's the thing. Like what you're looking at, like you had to like peel away like layers of that to get to the CD, and I think even something like that is a like way to engage with it. Like it's telling you something before you even put the CD on. You don't get that with streaming.
Yes. So this is news to me. Tom brought it up here. The Tool Fibonacci sequence thing.
Oh.
What is the thing?
I don't even know because it's like such a fucking joke and nerds. I've like heard it in passing, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm here for tunes.
Yeah, because Tom knows, he's like, it's become a meme at this point, and here's like there's a people debating how it's used on this album, and here's someone
like
debunking it.
yeah, it's like time signatures or like, you know, they have lots of even going back to the last album where they sing about numbers or like yeah, they've always been like a mathy band in that way. So I always just thought it was stupid, but yeah.
Tom noted here, he said there's a funny line from The Enemy where the writer said, Tool is never knowingly unpretentious. And he says that always stuck with me.
Never. I'm like thinking it.
So many double negatives. Never knowingly unpretentious. So
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it is funny, like if you just saw them as individuals, or like, oh, this guy's at a wrestling show, or this fucking tall guy who wears basketball jerseys. I guess Maynard is like like he owns a winery.
Yeah, that's about the most of it too. Yeah. Tom also says, I remember being a huge Tool fan around the time of this album, but then I got to real drugs like anal sex and PCP. And he says jokes, half jokes.
Half joke. He probably likes the prison sex song more.
Oh yeah. And then he also sent us some memes, which is this one, you'll see it on screen if you're watching the video. It says the teacher has teacher. Today we talk about the Fibonacci sequence, and then Tool fans, it's just some kid with the expert on his t-shirt. That's pretty cute. There's a King of the Hill one. Which
of course,
the faux intellectualist fan base, and then that would be me. That's Tool. Oh goddamn!
I love Tool, but back when bands had fan clubs, I never felt the need to join the Tool army, and I did think it was funny that they like named themselves after like the Kiss army. yeah,
because they're the one with the
nothing alike. Yeah,
not at all.
Yeah.
And then we got this meme, the one with the guy talking to the girl who's clearly uninterested, and he's just talking about the Fibonacci sequence. Yeah. That one's pretty funny.
That's what I think. Even before that meme existed, like I'm like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy with Tool.
I can't believe like this one got me. The stupid fucking Harry Osborn, Willem Dafoe. When you're a Tool fan and you hear someone talking about the Fibonacci sequences, you know I'm something of a scientist myself.
I don't know.
What got me?
Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin memes are all time. When the mask is like calling to him, I'm something of a scientist. Yeah, I don't know. There's certain ones that get me.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. That's fun stuff. But yeah, both of our best and personal favorites. The ideal starting point for anybody trying to listen to Tool. I mean, this seems obvious.
I mean, it's that, or I wouldn't be mad if people listened to AEnima first.
Yeah, but I did. Yeah,
but yeah, this is perfection. This is the shit bands dream of doing.
But now We got two more. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 2006's 10,000 Days.
Which is also the length of this episode.
Indeed.
I feel like we're making good time, actually.
We're making good time, actually. Surprisingly.
This was weird. This was weird to hear because it took so long to follow up.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I have this set Tool like catalog, and now I'm hearing this new thing.
Yeah. I gotta say, I was pretty taken with this opener. Might be my favorite opener of theirs. I'll change my mind on that, but it's definitely one of my favorite openers of theirs. Got that ringy ass snare, as always.
I consider this one like their most chuggy album. I feel like
very chuggy.
I feel like you could tell they were hanging out with Meshuggah.
Yep. I don't love Maynard's voice on this song at all.
I don't know. This is like the cleanest his vocals sound. I can't really pinpoint what it is about this album. His vocals specifically.
Yeah, he's doing something different. It's like his A Perfect Circle stuff, and maybe his Christmas stuff, if they're around this point, started bleeding in.
I really think like Harry's just like overpowering this, not in a bad way. Like,
yes, he's going nuts. So,
because without that crazy drumming, I'm sorry, it's a Godsmack song a little bit.
I like it. I think this isn't that bad.
I like it
for sure. I mean, really, honestly, yes. So I like this album. I think it's definitely flawed. I don't think it's that bad though. I mean, I think it's still pretty strong.
I mean, it's my third favorite.
Mine
album.
Too. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's only not many albums here.
Yeah, I think there's some issues at the end here.
At the end.
And when I was a younger man, I still think it's baffling. I think the most baffling thing on here is the third song, Tool's longest song. It's broken into two tracks, but it's one song. Is Wings for Marie Part 1 and title track Part 2. It's like that's the third song. That's kind of like baffling, kind of crazy.
And it's really what destroyed the pacing of this album. Like for me, that is exactly so. It wasn't even because I know they're considered one song, but they're two separate, like lengthy tracks. Mm-hmm. So like calling them one song it's like, all right, but they're also split into two lengthy tracks. So you can easily separate it as two songs. So for Wings for Marie Part 1, it's like, okay, track 3 tones it down, fair enough. And then it goes into the title track, and it's like, wait a minute. We just sat through fucking 6 minutes of this, more mellow thing, and they're gonna give us 11 more of it, where like it eventually picks up, but it takes a while to get there.
I think once you get over the placement of it, like there were days where like I was less angry and I could like listen to it, and like as an adult I can listen to it now, and now I can accept it as this like heartbreaking, like I think it's like one of the biggest like emotional like gut punches Tool's ever done, really, because it's about Maynard's mom dying, and I don't really feel like his lyrics really get too personal, but I think once you've like learned what the song is in your head and the journey you're going on, I think it's great. It's just that like almost like whiplash of the placement on it. And it's more like you just kind of have to accept it for what it is.
The songs are good. I mean, I do agree with all that. It's the placement. It's the fact that it's so close to the beginning, and it fucking screeches everything to a halt, a long 17-minute depressing halt. But it's still pretty cool. Like even with the title track half, where
the bass is like, it's like a mellow gallop. The boom, 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 boom. Like it's so cool.
And then when it finally erupts, like around like 540, it's almost like it sounds like fucking Santana. Like that's the kind of feel it has. It's way more Latin than it. Like you expect Tool to get big and heavy and metal, but it's like no, it's a little bit more percussive. It's very nice.
I think it's very cool because on track 2 around the 4-minute mark, which is actually longer, it picks up, but it doesn't explode. It also probably conditioned me to like get ready for Neurosis. Like you want it to explode at that 4-minute mark, but like you said, the 540, boom, like after all this fucking time, including the first part, and and it's one of the like only songs where I'm like the guitar and drum solo is happening at the same fucking time.
Everything from this point on, everything Danny does is a fucking drum solo. And he's going, everything is just so much. It's fun as hell and it's very interesting, but it is a lot. But I kept me engaged though. I prefer that he does that rather than just stick with a standard groove or something. But I would say my least favorite song moment on the entire album are the fucking vocals on the intro to The Pot. I mean, good God. I mean, I find them to be eye-rollingly cringy.
That is, I don't think we've ever heard his vocals isolated, at least on Tool albums. And yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's like pineapple on a pizza. You just like,
pineapple's great, pizza's great. You put them together, it's Maynard without music. Like he still has a good voice, but just something about the choices there. It feels so fucking poppy and whiny, and like I just hated the way it sounded. But yet, when the song kicks in, his vocals are actually quite strong on the rest of it.
It really is like all four of them need each other. Yeah.
They're definitely a band. Yeah.
One of the like craziest things hearing at the time was Zombie. Is it a Vox box?
I don't know.
What's that called? Where you like put a tube in your mouth?
The talk box.
Like I just associated that with like Peter Frampton and like 70s rock, and it was so crazy to hear on a fucking Tool song.
It is a cool effect. I think Kirk Hammett used it on the House of Jack Bell.
He did, yeah.
It's a cool sound. It's a weird ass thing.
Yeah, so that was crazy. Also, AEW announcer Justin Roberts. He used to work in WWE and then he got fired, and then he worked for Tool. He ran their VIP experience. Like if you buy the VIP tickets, he'd show you around backstage. You let him meet the band. So now when Justin Roberts does like ring announcing and he like walks out to Zombie.
Oh, that's pretty sick. I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe their funniest interlude is Lip on Conjuring or Leap on.
I love it.
So what it is, and you have to have felt this, it's just Native American yarling.
Yeah. I think here's my problem with it though. For as awkward as like Wings for Marie title track is, the end of this album is kind of rough.
The end of this album fucking stinks.
There's some cool shit I like a lot on here, but man, it does kind of stumble over itself because you have the Lip and Conjuring, which I think is cool, but then you have like Lost Keys, which is more like an intro track.
Yeah.
To Rosetta Stone, which is the best song in the back half here.
Yes, for sure. Honestly, I like Lost Keys. I think that melodic guitar feedback is really well done. It just feels weird having basically 2 interludes back to back.
I think as cool as I think Conjuring sounds, probably could have cut it.
Yeah. This is the album that you start to feel that it was
The
padded.
length. Yeah.
A lot of this doesn't need to be. I mean, really, what doesn't need to be here, fucking elephant in the room, is the closer, Viginti Tres or whatever the fuck.
Oh yes, yeah. I
Dude.
think it's unnecessary. Even if you're like a Fibonacci hardcore or like you love the Tool mythos and all that, I think it's pretty unnecessary. And
It's 5 fucking minutes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that I think right into is it's the weakest song on the album. I
like it,
bad.
but
It's not bad.
but it does drag. It definitely does drag, but there's still moments that I do appreciate on it.
It gets explosive around 6 minutes, and I think it's fucking cool. I just don't know if it's cool enough to justify the previous 6 minutes.
So fair enough. With the payoffs, this is where we talked about on the opener to AEnima, where it has like these big anthemic moments, and they start doing that. This is where like they start doing these long passages with like maybe it's a little bit more dynamic on the quiet side, and then it goes to these crazy proggy things, and then it builds and builds and gets into this giant payoff. This big giant riff. Here on this album, it still works. Like, even though I don't think these are like the most incredible riffs ever, it feels really good. This is the last time it feels really good, I think, when like there's still payoff. So even with a song like Right in Two, where it's a bit unnecessary, it drags on a bit. It given the length of the album, it doesn't really need to be here, but it's still, that payoff still feels good. It's still a good payoff.
Yeah.
And this album has plenty of that. This has some of my favorite Tool songs on here. The pacing is definitely off.
Yeah, for a band that's known for being so tight and finely tuned, it does hurt. But again, I don't know. I'll take the sloppiest Tool album over a lot of other bands.
Yeah. It is very well put together. It's also,
at the time I was so enamored with I would just stare at the album art, and like the cover like inspired my tattoo. I love that visual, the 3 faces sharing like 2 eyes. And that's not exactly what my tattoo is, but it was inspired by that for sure.
Speaking of the design and layout of this album, it was done by a Mrs. Mackie Osborne, Buzz Osborne's wife. Pretty awesome.
And again, very cool album. Like, it flipped. So like the top quarter or so, it flipped, and it had these like goggle eye things, and you could like, you look.
Holy crap.
You put it up to your eyes, and the book like flipped up in front. So like the artwork was kind of like 3D, or you got this like enhancement, like looking at it through these like almost goggle thing. I don't want to call them goggles, but
like
again,
kaleidoscope little things or something.
Not even a kaleidoscope, but this kind of like, it like did something to if you don't want to take drugs and look at the art, you can put these things, just more cool out of the box packaging.
That is very cool. That is so much care and thought put into the presentation of it.
And yeah, it wasn't special edition. Like, it all, like, that is the standard edition. That's how the album came.
Yep. That's
or the CD, I should say, the CD.
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize Lustmord does the weather effects, all the rain sounds on the title track.
We kind of skipped over that. I do love those like weather effects on the song. I think it adds like a cool layer to the song.
Well, he's collaborated with Chris and Cozy, who are both in Throbbing Gristle.
Yeah,
and Melvins.
Yeah.
And Melvins, hell yeah. They did that whole collab album that we haven't covered. that
Oh
we
yeah,
probably
yeah.
should cover before you leave the podcast. We've talked about it for years.
There's gonna be so many things. Yeah,
fucking
I don't know. Maybe I'll come back from
maybe.
guilt to this tie up some
Yeah.
things.
But yeah, it's a good album. It's flawed. It definitely has. It's also the one that's really, really going hard with the production. Like the last album went hard with the production, but it was still kind of an even balance of everything. This is like, we're really diving into production here.
It's funny because they're both great productions, although you can get into it with Maynard's voice. Lord knows we did. But they're still different. Like, I think this is like the best the band. Like this and Lateralus is like how people think Tool should sound.
Yeah.
From a production song. Maybe not
For
right,
sure.
but whatever. Also,
we have one left.
Rosetta Stone is a song about someone shitting the bed. So, like,
And that's pretty cool. I think we should all just shit the bed a little bit more often.
It was really jarring, like hearing that in this hearing, shit the bed. And he says it like multiple times. Yeah.
It's a solid song. Why the hell not? Just go shit the bed. But we got one left. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. This is 2019's Fear Inoculum. Gonna be another lengthy intro. Lengthy everything about this album.
This album.
This
Which I
album,
gave,
Alex.
Which I reminder when I get there, I did give this a best of 2019.
It was on your best of 2019 list. Yeah.
So I'm prepared to contradict myself a little bit here. But
that
again,
was the last time I heard this too.
Yeah, I think that's just how much I love Tool.
We'll get all into it, Alex. We're going to get into it. So, when I said they went hard with the production in the last album, they're going even harder now. They're going almost entirely production.
This is like listening to all these albums consecutively, like I'm like, okay, they are like old men now. Like there is such a like relaxed, flowy feeling to this album, and it's maybe not a good thing.
I would say it's a bad thing.
Well, first of all, to get ahead a little bit, because we have all this time.
So much time. Yeah.
Not every song needs to be 10 minutes. Even if you're
Yet
Tool.
they are, Alex. Yet
Every
they
song.
are. They're
Every
over
song.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So this is Tool.
I'm a slave to it, though.
Yeah. I'm not super bothered by this riff, but we have heard it a lot already.
But
and
I
now
think
it's modern Maynard, who just sings very soft.
yeah, I think his vocals, even though they're softer than 10,000 Days, I'll take it over the pot vocals.
I agree. So, I don't know how much we can fucking... So, we've already been doing this for 2.5 minutes, and the song has barely gotten going because it's 20 fucking minutes long.
Yeah.
It's like, eventually
I think
it goes
takes
into...
like 6 minutes to...
Eventually it goes into this big anthemic riff that I think is one of the worst fucking riffs that they've ever done. Least favorite.
Yeah, worst, least favorite. I still like this album, but I think every song being 10 minutes hurts. I think this, like the cool, floaty, almost like Zen yoga light feeling is like, could be cool, but I don't know about it on every song.
I really, really dislike this album. I think this album stinks. I liked it when I first heard it in 2019 because I wasn't really familiar with Tool. I thought like, oh, this is interesting. It's a little long, but I also didn't comparing it to anything else. Exactly.
Also, this is a weird skill set to have that doesn't really pay benefit to anything, but I feel like I'm better at making year-end lists now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We put a lot more care for sure.
For sure.
Instead of just like, oh, we like this artist, it's good. Now it's like, we like this artist, but that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, we're a little more jaded. But yeah, again, I'll still listen to Tool's worst album over Soul Asylum's best album.
Oh,
and even though Soul Asylum they do have some good albums.
I would listen to Soul Asylum's best album over this album or Undertow. I mean, for sure.
Okay.
Like, so this is the thing. I remember hearing Undertow for the first time and thinking, like, I don't like this at all. I think this is horrible. I mean, this is so not great. And then listening to this, I think Undertow is their worst album for the purpose of what Tool is. Production, the songwriting that they haven't really discovered yet, like just the stripped downness, the kind of the hard rock riffs, it's just sort of average. This feels like self-indulgent bullshit, long for the sake of long, generic as hell, but played all proggy to distract us from the fact that it's fucking generic as shit. I will listen to Undertow any day over this album, because at least that's like raw and honest. This feels like, let's make it crazy, man. But they're doing these fucking bitch ass, like basic ass riffs. And it's just like fucking, that's not prog. Like that's like regular modern pop metal rock writing under the fucking veil of prog rock and psychedelia, which is like the reason I can't give this worst is because the performances are so fucking crazy good. Some moments are like, that's Numa, even though it comes in sounding exactly like fucking Bleed the Freak from Alice in Chains, it's still like, it has a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of really beefy stuff to grab onto. I like Invincible. It's fucking very interesting and very cool. It has a bunch of like stuff I don't like in it, a bunch of like average riffs in it, but there's so much there. It's like, this is a band that has been around forever that learned how to do a lot of crazy technical shit. And it's just, that's too impressive. It's too of note to give it worse. I hate that it goes on for fucking 12 minutes and 15 minutes every song. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think the biggest culprit of going on too long, and when it starts, I think it's a cool riff. It's kind of unassumingly evil, is Calling Voices. I think that's a very cool riff. But to me, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't go anywhere. We've experienced these great like peaks and valleys. I think even if someone thought like the songs were too long, I think you may have even said like, you can't deny like the peaks and valleys are good. Like the payoff is good on other songs where like Calling, you heard the first 3 minutes of that song. You've also heard the last 3 minutes of that song.
I would call Calling Voices one of their worst songs. That one kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, I think maybe at a detriment to the band. I think this is the Adam Jones album. The other day I saw some people kind of arguing like, is Adam Jones a good guitar player? And I don't fucking play guitar. And I think if he can play really tight and these odd, crazy time signatures, even if it's the simplest, I think you're an excellent player. But like his solos feel more like vibes to me. It's not these like, I don't listen to his solos. I'm like, man, my mind's melted specifically because
he's not a
solo.
shredder. Yeah.
But on this album, I think his solos are actually really like technically good and like stand out. But the problem is if it takes like 12 minutes to get there, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, like does it matter that these are his most like technically proficient solos? Maybe not.
I don't really care about his solos at all because I have such mixed feelings about solos where I like making solos. I don't like the process of making them. It's a very stressful process for me, but I like it. It's a thing that just I can't stop doing. I like when a solo is good, it transforms the song for me. When a solo is okay or not good, it's a waste of fucking time. It's like if it's not going to be, the whole point of a solo is just to highlight a certain thing. And if it's doing something that is predictable or something that's just sort of going along with the main melody and you kind of already, then why is it a solo? Because you know what it's doing already. So I like that he's doing more technical stuff here, but he's not going against the melody. Tool doesn't go against the melody. This is just a thing that every album they do. Like I said at the very beginning of the episode, they play the right notes every time. Nobody goes against anybody. Everybody's always on the same page. You're never really caught off guard by anything they do. So as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do any solos because it all feels like they're doing the same thing even when he is.
Interesting. I mean, that could also be because I've been like listening to Tool longer and I can like recognize the sections. One of the best songs on here, and even though it is pretty reminiscent of 10,000 Days at first, is Descending. Yeah, I think that's like one of my favorite solos from him. I think around like 950 it takes this cool like sci-fi turn, and some of the best guitar riffs on the album, I think. But it is like interesting because it's not like a guitar band, like it is like bass and drums driving it.
For Descending, well, actually, no, before I talk about Descending, this album has the most electronic. Like this is like the electronic album. I mean,
Chocolate
more or less.
Chip Trip. Yeah.
Chocolate Chip Trip is not only my favorite song on the album, it's one of my favorite Tool songs.
Oh, really?
So this is the thing. So when I say like this is a band that you're never really caught off guard by, in the entire discography, that song is the only song where I was like, what the fuck? Really? Whoa. It's so good. It's nothing like anything they've ever done. It's an instrumental. It's like this deranged electronic thing that I don't even know what we can compare it to. It's like this scary, weird, mentally ill sounding electronic thing.
It is crazy how you have that going on. It's basically a drum song with that electronic thing. And it comes in under 5 minutes. And it's just like, man, like almost impressive that on an album of like overbloated things, this one, out of all the songs, this is the one that manages to come in.
It's crazy. Like the boldness and the experimentation of that song, if this whole album was choices like that, it would be a fucking, it'd be like
a different
holy
animal
crap.
For sure.
They would be one of the most it would be one of the most impressive, like, I don't want to say comeback albums, but it was a pretty big gap. One of the most blindsiding albums, that's for sure. But we get one taste of it, and then every other song is fucking 11 to 15 minutes of. So hinted on it on 10,000 Days, where I said they do this thing, they start building slowly, and then they have this big payoff. Almost every song here tries to do that, but the payoff is this extremely average riff, and that I couldn't get over that. Like even the songs I like, dude, like Numa does that. I like the riff that it pays off, but it's not a very good riff. I happen to like it.
Yeah, I think with Numa, this isn't like a particularly heavy hitting album, so it helps that there are like heavy riffs on Numa. Man, the beast in the room, the longest song on here. Oh man, I don't care. I think it's the best song on the album. But
crazy.
Also, like it's if it was an album, I'd give it best worse.
Wait, what? How do you give something best to worse?
Where like Tempest, I can acknowledge the issues with it. But I'm sorry. I like it despite all the flaws.
So it would be
But
like
no,
worst personal favorite.
I would worst personal favorite is
Yeah.
more accurate. If we gave it to songs, it would get worst personal favorite. I realize it's problematic. I realize it's the most bloated song, but it also features some of the best writing on the album to me.
If you like the riffs, then you like the riffs. It's simple as that. It just happens to do that for 16 fucking minutes.
Yes, it brings the ruckus the way other songs don't. We go on a little desert trip. And yeah, it's some of Adam Jones's best playing.
So you could say it about that song because it's the longest song, but really the whole album.
You could argue that it's just, they threw the most shit at the wall on that song.
The thing is, but my problem with it is it's not that it's long. I'm a fucking Swans fan, for Christ's sake. I listen to 20, 30-minute songs. It's not that like I'm a very patient listener. It's not that it's long. It's that it's long.
The payoffs aren't good.
The payoffs aren't good. 1, 2, I am not surprised by anything except Chocolate Chip Trip. I am not surprised. Everything goes exactly. I can predict where the notes are going to go. I know exactly. And it's not like I'm not some fucking savant guy. I've heard these songs before. I know, you can tell where they're going. And like, even though Tool has always been a little bit predictable with their writing because they have the same style, they did it in a way that had something else to it on the other albums. There was always something else to it. Here, the something else is that there's more production and it's longer. Though that's the something else that I got on this album.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's bloated and messy, and I feel like bands I like were kind of going through it. Like Mastodon did something similar.
They did some shit. Yeah.
The next year.
We love them, but
the next year, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That was just like 5 years ago. My favorite bands were this going through bloated, overproduced shit, and it's okay.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be worse.
It could always be worse.
Yeah, but it is. Why so long? It feels like they just wanted it to be long. That's kind of what it feels like in the end.
It's also very messy. Similar to Swans, where like depending on the format you bought it on, you've heard a different version. So the digital version is the longest version, coming in at 86 minutes. I'm not going to read the seconds. The vinyl, for some reason, is longer than the CD version.
We encountered that once before. That is very rare.
Was it also with Swans? I think it was. I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. I forgot. No, I forgot.
And the CD version, and also this is the last CD I ever purchased because, again, it had cool packaging. The CD version is 78 minutes.
Huh. So they just did.
If you
want to make it a double disc, I guess.
If you wanted to be like a nerd, like the way like people have preferred cuts of Blade Runner, and I'm sure there's a difference, but I don't have the energy to go over all these things with a finite comb. I'm sure someone could argue the CD version's better, the vinyl version's better, and we're just talking about, well, a huge difference CD to dig. We're talking about almost 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. Imagine they just cut out Chocolate Chip Trip and they just took out the best song for me. That would be hilarious and awful if that was what they did.
They did not on the CD.
Okay, that's good.
On the CD version, they cut off that French song.
Oh, Litanie contre le peu.
Yeah,
it's a fun interlude, but it's unnecessary.
Mocking beat.
Dude, they should. That's a bullshit ass outro.
You might like the CD version. And then it's
a little bit more.
Yeah, I think those are the two things they cut off. So you still get the songs, this no filler.
Yeah. Yeah, the songs have enough filler on their own. You don't need the extra tracks. Although I don't mind the French one. It's pretty wild. It's crazy synth stuff.
Yeah. And then you don't need Mocking Beat after 16 minutes.
Crazy. It's insane that they actually put that as an outro. It's how long is it? Like 3 minutes too? It's like fucking long for an outro.
Yeah. Although I think because I've just accepted these are bloated songs, it doesn't feel as obnoxious as like 10,000 Days does.
10,000
that end
Days
track.
That's the most egregious closing track.
Yes,
for sure.
yeah.
But this is from Adam, the interview with Adam. They asked him, how different is the relationship with you guys as individuals compared to back in the earlier days of the band? And he says, we're real close, and when people are close, you love each other and then you hate each other. We have that family relationship and it's good. It's real good. It's probably the best that it has ever been, to be honest. We know each other and it suits us. I like to leave the show early, and Danny and Justin like to hang out after, and we respect that. Oh, this is interesting because you've seen them. They ask, the no photo policy is obviously very important to you guys. Do you find it hard to implement that as the years pass and recording shows becomes more and more the norm? It says, yeah, I mean, for us, we've actually seen it changing, and more big acts are asking for other fans respectfully to enjoy the show rather than looking at their camera the whole time. I think one of the problems is you get a lot of lights because people don't know how to use their cameras correctly, which makes it very blinding on stage. It's that connection. You lose something without that connection, and you just want people to be in their own world rather than getting the whole show on their phone and then never looking at it again. It's a big distraction. Have you ever been to a concert and you can't see the show because the person in front of you is holding their phone up in the front of the stage? It's just kind of obnoxious. Just keep your phone in your pocket and enjoy the show, and we'll see you after and you can get back on it. People need a break. I feel like phones have become an appendage, like part of our anatomy, Dude.
10,000%.
Enraging. Yes.
10,000%.
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. The most egregious one, and I don't think most are fans. Like the most egregious one I witnessed was Baby Metal, because they were more of a rarity in America when I saw them. And it wasn't just one person. It was like most of the people there were like recording the whole show. And it didn't I wanted like the full production, but it was at the Palladium. So I didn't fucking get that. The drummer wasn't even on a fucking razor, which would have helped me. But yeah, that was the most egregious show. I've had other experiences, and yeah, I agree. The audio quality on cell phones, the recording's gotten better, but realistically, you're not gonna really watch those things.
It's insane. It's just a post on fucking Instagram. I mean, that's all it's for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. And yeah, it's better in your head. There's no reason to do it. You want to snap a few pictures, I don't have an issue with that, whatever. I do that sometimes. But I take one or two, and yeah, I know they've made announcements at their shows, but I haven't really seen it enforced. Maybe it's just people kind of respect that rule. So
I hope so. For comedians and stuff, they have Yonder bags and stuff like that, or at the Comedy Cellar in New York, they do it in the fucking cheap plastic bags. They just you can rip it open if you want, but then they're gonna. It's a simple thing of we really can't have you on your fucking phone.
Be present.
Yeah. Whereas with a band, it's you're not going to be just if you're on the phone and the band's playing, you're the one being inconvenienced, really. Your conversation isn't going to be disrupting the band, but so you don't need to force them to not use their phone, putting it in a fucking bag for them. But also, it sounds a little bit woo-woo, but the energy will be fucking off. If you get a bunch of people there that aren't even there, they're there, but they're not, or they're there and they're more focused on, this is going to be a good post. Let me get this shot. Let me stretch my fucking arm awkwardly over this guy's head. And it's it's just a very unnatural environment when you're supposed to be there, getting lost in these waves and these vibrations. Imagine trying to film a fucking Swan show when it's this overwhelming sensory experience. And it's hold on, let me get this inaudible clip so I can post on social media.
I saw someone do it the last time I saw them up front. I thought Michael was going to kill him.
Good. Because that's fucking obnoxious.
He was basic, without getting in the microphone, put that shit away.
Yeah.
And
it's not harmless. It's not harmful, but it's not harmless.
No, there's lots of things like that. like talking in a movie theater and
That's all. The thing is, that's also way more disruptive. Like that will ruin the movie for someone else.
I think because people think concerts are this loud thing, and there are some like social especially at a metal show, there are like some social norms that like wouldn't be acceptable out there. So they think it's this like Mad Max times, but that's not the case. I don't even remember who said this. I saw this clip with this person, and he was like, art is important because it forces, when you're like engaged with it, it forces you to stop thinking about yourself. And the world needs more of that. And the interviewer wasn't like disagreeing with him, but more like playing devil's advocate. And he's like, well, they have like run clubs or, these social like workout. What about those? And he's like, no, because at the end of the day, you're doing something to improve yourself, which is fine. But like art, good art, whether it's concerts or a painting or whatever, like if you're really engaged with it, it requires you to really stop thinking about yourself.
And that, I couldn't agree more. And it's surprisingly way more important and way more difficult than it sounds. Like when you're performing, you can't be thinking about if you're thinking about yourself when you're performing, it is and I tell you this from lots of experience, it is an agonizing, horrible experience. It's just nervousness and overanalyzing and self-critique. It's a painful experience. If you're thinking about yourself when you're performing, it is a painful experience. If you're not thinking about yourself when you're performing, it is heaven. It's pure. It's like like taking a drug. It's something so beyond that. It's so crazy, like how much it can't be about you. And one thing I'll tell you that'll make you start thinking about yourself when you're performing: someone looking at you funny, someone on their fucking phone right in front of you, inches away from you. That will make you start thinking about yourself. It's like little things like that. You could also be like, fucking toughen up, don't be a pussy, just deal with it. But the thing is, if they're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it? Because there's a performative aspect of like, you think of like band like Suicide, where it's like the hostility is the performance, like the battle with the audience. Like, we're gonna fight after this, but you're not gonna fucking stop me. I'm gonna do this. Like, that's one way of it, but that's not really the communal. That's not the shared experience of sharing art. The sharing art thing is like we're all coming together almost fucking psychically with this thing that's happening in the room. And if you're detached, if you're pulling the plug on that, then it kind of like short circuits the electricity with everything else. It's like, it really is. I'm sounding like such a fucking blowhard, but this is what I believe in. God damn it.
I mean, I believe in it too. Like, I think, whatever, this episode's long, let's make it longer. I think like a lot of people aren't going to the theaters because they think it's a solitary experience and you aren't talking to people, but that like psychic link, that electricity, when it's like a movie theater full of people and there's like appropriate sounds like laughter or gasping, or like I remember seeing The Witch in a pretty full theater and no one talked, but you could feel like the uneasiness we all shared, and you wouldn't get that at home. You would feel it by yourself, but maybe your dogs are barking, or maybe something is like, a theater is a fucking dark room and you're there for that one purpose, and you
there for the one purpose.
Yeah, so I completely agree with you about that like psychic link, and that like whether it's like laughter or tension or sad, that like you're all sharing it. And sure, maybe there's one or two people who aren't, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, it's the same reason why how many people watching this can watch a comedy, but if they're watching it by themselves, they don't laugh out loud, but they do when they're around people. It's that kind of thing where, why is it funnier when there's someone else around? It's just, it's just humans. That's just what we do. So if you're on your fucking phone and you're distracting everybody or distracting the performer, that actually does ruin it for everyone, even if you think it's harmless. You're not invisible. You're not invisible.
Because it's a loud show and maybe there's a mosh pit. Like, I don't know. I think there's still ways to be considerate of people. I think there should still be concert etiquette, but
etiquette is really all. It sounds like we're being preachy, but it's etiquette. If you're gonna use your fucking phone, if you want, I mean, this is a goddamn free country. If you want to use your phone, use your phone. But just fucking don't do it right in front of don't be distracting about it. That's really the thing.
Like, dance appropriately, mosh appropriately. Like, I'm not saying don't do. I'm just asking you to like engage with the show. Really.
Yeah. If you're there, be there. Don't be there and not be there. That's the thing. Like,
you paid your money. Why would you not want to engage with it?
God damn it, man. Just when you go somewhere, make sure you're actually there. That's my only request for humanity at this point. It's all I can. I mean, really, it's not a tall order. Come on.
These days it is.
I know. But back to the album. It's Alex's worst and least favorite, and it is my least favorite. And the Tool has seen better days. And well, yeah. As for what's next,
we're about due for a new one, right? It's been
6 years technically.
Although I guess we didn't even mention between 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum. That was the biggest gap.
13 years, I think.
Yeah. So maybe we're not due for.
So this is from I think 2024 Metal Hammer reported on the PRP website. Which website's this? It's the PRP. That's the name of the website. This piece says earlier this year that the outfit's bassist Justin Chancellor stoked hopes that the group would be able to deliver a 6th studio album in timely fashion rather than serve up another 13-year wait. In fact, he posited that due to age becoming a factor, half the quartet are now in their 60s. They don't have the luxury of time to waste if they hope to continue playing at the level their fans are accustomed to. It's a sentiment that Keenan himself shared in this very interview when asked if the experience of making the band's comeback album, Fear Inoculum, will have any impact on their apparent next record. Keenan told Metal Hammer, well, considering one or more of us will be dead if we wait another 14 years, we might want to figure out a better way. So maybe figure out how to move faster. Make it the priority. You don't have to skip any of the art part. You don't have to skip any of the creative process. You just have to force yourself to be in the creative space more often and more consistently. Tool is a more complicated beast with a lot of egos and a lot of other things going on in our lives. But all the creativity is there. The songs and the ideas can flow and the arguments ensue. As soon as we get past the arguments, we can get shit done. Ha ha ha. I think we can do it. I think we can do it more efficiently. And I think everyone's on the same page that we have to get through that because we can't drag this out another 14 years.
I didn't even really think about their age. Well, it'll be funny to see who gets an album out first, Tool or D'Angelo.
Oh, man. Yeah, we'll see.
I know I'm older because I want D'Angelo.
Still want that D'Angelo, yep.
He has less albums, too.
He sure does. He sure does. But we did it. Holy crap. This was a fun one. This was a very thorough one. We talked about all the things that are important. Everything except for the first EP, apparently. But let's do a little recap.
For me, best personal favorite, Lateralus. Damn near perfection. Worst least favorite, and one of my best albums of 2019, Fear Inoculum. Is bloated, but I like Tool. What can I say?
He likes Tool. What can you say? For me, Undertow, worst. It is all the things the band wasn't even the band. I like Helmet. I like Helmet a lot more than that album. I don't know what else to say. It just didn't do it for me. Lateralis, best personal favorite. It's Where You Go. It's Where You Go. And Fear Inoculum, personal least favorite because fuck that album for me. That's that. Oh man, my voice is shot. So thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. Thank you to Bill Hicks, whatever the hell your real name is, for suggesting this and for supporting us on Patreon. If you want to support us on Patreon, go there, do that. We're not taking any more requests for the time being, but there's still plenty of the other things there. There's bonus episodes. You get to join the Discord, be a part of the community, talk shop with a bunch of other music nerds just like us. You can suggest new albums from this year for us to cover. And if you're tier 2, then you can suggest any album from anywhere for us to do bonus episodes on. So it's good stuff. Go there, do that. Patreon.com/everyalbumever. Very cool. You can follow me on all social media at PandaMonkey and Alex on Bluesky at
Octatron3030.
And our history guy, Tom Osman, Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, and Tom Osman Sounds for his music and his podcast where he interviews indie musicians, all kinds of indie musicians, sometimes bigger than indie musicians. Whatever comes next. There's links to all that in the description. Link to my EP in the description as well. And I think that's it. Holy crap, we did it.
Did it. Wanted to do it for 6 years. Finally
6
did it.
years. Finally did it. Hell yes. So until the next one, thanks so much for listening and watching. See ya.